Hi, I'm Christy, and I'd like to welcome you to SuperHero Comic-Con virtual training. Thank you all for being here. I am with Texas Yes Project. We are a nonprofit focused on educational equity and enhanced literacy for Texas students. We are partnered with SuperHero Comic-Con, and for every volunteer shift served, we will receive funding to support our programs. We are the largest distributor of free school supplies within the state of Texas, with over 660,000 students served. We thank you very much for participating in this. I'm going to go ahead and hand you over to my colleague, Courtney, who is going to be guiding you through today's training.
Hello, everyone. I am going to share my screen so that everybody can see the volunteer training packet as we go through it. I believe Christy will have either emailed this to you. Is that correct, Christy?
That is correct.
Perfect. So everybody should receive a copy of this packet via email. If for whatever reason you don't, please reach out to Christy. She's been emailing you already through GivePulse. So you guys should already have her contact information. If not, you will get her phone number shortly and you can call her with any additional questions. So we've already talked about Texas Yes. So one thing that I just want to reiterate is that we really cannot do this without the help of our hundreds of volunteers that you are very near and dear to our hearts. Without having the additional help, we would not be able to put on the caliber and the quality of show that we've been able to give our fans for the last 5 to 6 years. So thank you so much for being here today, and let's go. So real quick overview, some of you have probably been with us for more than one show. For those of you that haven't, we started a Celebrity Fan Fest, I believe, back in 2018. We've put on a handful of shows in some funky places like Fiesta, Texas, Six Flags Fiesta, Texas here in San Antonio. We did a freaky car show there once upon a time. A couple of years ago, we rebranded to SuperHero Comic-Con and Car Show. This year, we are dropping the car show. We are just SuperHero Comic-Con, but we are still the same wonderful show that you guys have hopefully grown to love. And if you haven't seen it yet, get ready because it's about to be 4 days of pop culture and a lot of fun and a lot of action. So we are expecting well over 35,000 guests this year. I can't remember how many came through our doors last year. We were a 3-day show. This year, we've gone back to 4 days. So we've got that Thursday in there to jam pack that with some extra fun and lots of guests and artists and vendors. So if you guys haven't been to our show before, we are located at the Freeman Expo Hall the Freeman Coliseum Expo Halls. So they are down by the formerly AT&T Center, now the Frostbake Center. So if you guys are not sure where we're located, that's where we are located, right off of 35 and Frostbank Parkway. So a couple of things that I want to make sure that I tell you guys, and not diving right in just yet. If you haven't followed us on Facebook, please get your phones out and give us a follow. We are at SuperHero Comic-Con. Our fearless leader, Bob Wills, always gives us any big show announcements that may come between now and the start of the show. We will always put those on Facebook first, and then they'll kind of trickle down through our social media channels and eventually the website if they make sense. Something else that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of is that we will have an app. So if you came to our show or volunteered with us last year, it is the same Cell app that we had last year. We just haven't updated it this year. It's on my list. But if you guys can go ahead and get out your cell phones and go to Google Play or Apple Play and type in the search bar SuperHero Comic-Con, it should pop up. I believe the icon has a starburst on it with SuperHero or SCC. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but we'll want to make sure that you guys have that app downloaded. It will be fully decked out with all of our schedules, all of our panel information, our guest information, links to buy tickets if there are still any photo ops and autograph sessions left, admission tickets, all the good stuff, Q&A, maps of the venue, vendor list, all that good stuff. So you guys want to make sure that you have that app downloaded. So diving right in, as far as event hours goes, really the most important thing that you guys need to know is that our VIPs are always going to have always going to be able to access our show half an hour earlier than the general public. So you may be working in somebody, oh, sorry, my computer just did something really silly. Christy, can you still see my screen?
I can still see your screen.
Can you still see the packet?
I can still see the packet.
Okay, perfect. Well, everybody just ignore that. We're gonna keep going like it didn't happen. But so somebody may ask you, hey, I'm coming back on Saturday. What's the earliest I can get in? So just make note of the hours and if they're VIP or general admission. Something else that you guys are going to want to make sure that you take note of is what time your shift starts, and just know that you probably want to be there at least 15 to 30 minutes early. Couple reasons for that. Traffic could be insane. If you guys have been down to the Frostbank Center right off of 35, depending on what intersection of San Antonio is going to be shut down that weekend. Hopefully none, fingers crossed, but traffic could be a little crazy. By the time you get your car parked and walk to the volunteer room, you just want to make sure that you allow yourself time to get situated, get checked in with Christy, grab a bite to eat, whatever you need to do. And that way you're ready to go come 8 o'clock, 2:30 or whatever time your shift starts. We do have some volunteer incentives. So these are pretty much the same as we had last year. So for every 2 shifts successfully completed, and I do want to call out that could be any of these shifts. I do believe an all-day shift counts as 2. Christy, is that?
That is correct.
Okay, perfect. So all-day shifts do count as 2 shifts. So for every 2 shifts that you successfully complete, volunteers will receive 2 tickets to Six Flags Fiesta Texas. You guys can use those through January 5th of 2025. And you will also receive 2 SuperHero Comic-Con passes that you can use on Thursday, Friday, or Sunday. We do not allow our comp tickets to be used on Saturday. That is our biggest day. We do expect a ridiculous amount of people to come through our doors on Saturday. So we ask that all of our comp tickets, be used on the less busy days. So you guys may be asking, okay, well, what if I am volunteered on Saturday and Sunday, but I want to come to the show on Thursday or Friday? That's totally fine. Christy will also be sending you a waiver that basically has the rules of achieving and getting the incentives. If you guys want to come to the show on Thursday and Friday and your designated shift is not until Saturday or maybe Sunday, we will accommodate getting you the tickets early so that you can come enjoy our show. Just know that if your shift is not completed and we don't check you off, you will be held responsible for the cost of the tickets in full. We give these to you guys because we definitely want to incentivize you. Like I said, we're so happy that you're here. We want you guys to come to our show and enjoy it and have fun. But we also want everybody to hold up their end of the bargain as well. Also, one last thing that I just want to say about tickets. They do have unique codes and identification on both the Six Flags and the Comic-Con passes. So please, please, please do not resell them. These tickets are not for resale. That is a fireable offense in terms of being able to volunteer with Texas Yes ever again. So if you are caught reselling your tickets, you will not be asked back. Same with the SuperHero Comic-Con passes. Those actually won't scan at all if they are used either on Saturday or after. If you've Christy, how do they track that? I know they track it, but I can't remember.
So they're going to be tracking it via the QR code on the back end. So if we see that a volunteer who has the QR code tied to that ticket uses the tickets without completing the shifts, we do contact them regarding the volunteer incentive agreement.
There you go. So no selling and no being sneaky. So we want you guys to be able to get these tickets and use them. If you don't want to use them and when you want to give them to a friend, a family member, kiddos, parents, whatever, that is totally fine. If you want to farm them out, please do so. Just we ask that no money be exchanged in the process. All right, moving on. So volunteer attire. I don't have to tell you guys, it's June, it's hot. So make sure that you dress appropriately. I highly recommend gals, shorts are totally fine, skirts are fine. Jeans, slacks, whatever you want to do. We just ask that you guys don't wear yoga pants. We've had somebody ruin that for us in the past. If you do wear shorts, keep it classy. We don't need to see body parts or anything hanging out. Also, if you can, try to avoid wearing anything that's really destructive that has a lot of holes in it. So we want you guys to look as professional as possible because we do think of you as an extension of our staff. You will also receive a SuperHero volunteer shirt. They are blue. So everybody will be allotted 2 shirts this year. In the past, we've given 3 or 4 shirts, depending on how many shifts that you guys have worked. But this year, you know, inflation and all, we're capping everybody at a max of 2 t-shirts. So you can pick those up when you show up 15 to 30 minutes early before your first shift. We have plenty of sizes, so don't worry about us running out. And or if you guys want to make other arrangements to pick those up from Christy here at our offices in San Antonio before your shift starts, that's fine too. Also, comfy shoes. I cannot stress this enough. You are going to be standing and walking around on concrete floors. So that does take a toll. So I highly recommend some kind of athletic tennis shoe. Sandals are no-go. Crocs are a no-go. Any kind of slide is a no-go. There's just going to be a lot of foot traffic. We don't want anybody getting tripped up or stepped on. So please, please, please wear those comfy tennis shoes. This is another big one. I get lots of questions and all why nots on this one. Volunteers are not allowed to be in cosplay or any type of costume while on shift. Unfortunately, it is just a little bit distracting. And we want our attendees to be able to recognize you. So we ask that you wear our shirts, wear your comfortable athletic or whatever clothing you're going to be in, but please, please, please don't dress up in any kind of costume or cosplay. If you guys want to do that either after your shift or if you have a shift that starts later in the day and you want to come early and be in costume, that is totally fine. Just want to make sure that you store that stuff in your vehicle so it doesn't walk away. Cell phones are to be put away while on shift. And I know you're thinking, well, you just told me to download the app and look at Facebook. Yes, that's true. So really all we're asking here is that we don't have our cell phones just in our faces 24/7. If you guys need to take a phone call, need to send a text home to make sure the kids are doing okay, check on the babysitter, check on boyfriend, whatever, that's totally fine. Just tell your captain that you need to step away for a second and it's all good. That being said, a lot of customers will have a lot of probably what seemed like silly questions like, where can I find the schedule? Or do you know what time my group starts? So the reason that I'm telling you guys to use the app and to whip your phones out and use it to answer questions as needed is because a lot of these easy questions that you're going to get are going to be in the app. So I don't mind you guys pulling out your phone and using it as a reference, even helping people download the app so that they have all that information readily available at their own fingertips is encouraged as well. No headphones or earbuds, just leave those in your car, guys. It's too loud, you can't hear. And then Christy will assign you a lanyard upon check-in. That's basically your credential saying that you're clocked in. So make sure that you guys return those when you check out. So the other thing to note is that we do have a bag policy, so I'll let you guys read through this. But the big takeaway here is that for gals especially, we want to leave those big bulky purses at home. Try not to bring backpacks. Anything that you bring, you want to try to keep contained into a small bag. So like a small crossbody, a drawstring bag, a fanny pack, or a sling bag is totally fine. Really the name of the game here is you want to leave your hands free. You might be using your hands, moving some things around for us, just depending on whatever your volunteer position is. So we just want to stay hands free and make sure that you're not having to lug around something big and bulky. And you also don't want something that you're going to want to put down. We really don't have anywhere to store anything safely. So we do have a volunteer room, which we'll talk about momentarily. But it will only be Christy and maybe one other staff member in there. And unfortunately, we can't watch everybody's stuff. So better to keep it on you. I've had people ask if we can bring water bottles and snacks. Yes, that's fine. Whatever you want to keep in the bag that you keep on you is totally fine. I just highly recommend that you guys don't leave anything sitting on the ground or under a chair because it probably will grow legs. Please also take note of the sword policy and checking in at the cosplay desk. This is something that you'll probably get a lot of questions on in regards to the cosplay competition that will be happening on Saturday afternoon. So make sure you familiarize yourself with this. Okay, parking and volunteer room. So this is really easy. So all of our volunteers will use lot 8, which is right here, kind of drawing on our PDF here. So whenever you come down, this is actually Frost Bank Parkway now instead of AT&T Center. But if you're coming from 35 and take a right, it'll be the first gate on the right. If you are old school like me and come down Houston Street and go up, it's the last gate on your left. It will be labeled Gate G, so there will be nothing to cause any confusion there. You'll turn right in. There is a little like security hut thing. There might be somebody sitting in it. Just let them know that you're volunteering with the Comic-Con and they will wave you right through. So you'll come here, you'll park in lot 8, you'll lock your car. You definitely want to lock your car. And then you'll walk down this, it's very obvious, it's a road, and you'll come through that we will have signs out leading you guys to the volunteer room, but you'll come down the short side of Expo Hall 1 and 2. And then this volunteer room, if you're a rodeo person, if you've been to the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, it is the Frontier Club restaurant. Used to be the Frontier Club, now it's just the Frontier Club restaurant. So that is where we will have all of our volunteers gather for their breaks and before they start their shifts. It's a nice big room, wide open, lots of air conditioning, lots of bathrooms and counter space and places to sit down. This is also where you will be served all of your meals, and we do not let you go hungry. So Christy will talk about that shortly, but really easy. So super easy to get to the volunteer room. If you are handicapped, there are some marked handicap spots in these lots here that you can park in. I do highly recommend that if you have any mobility issue that you just have somebody drop you off and come pick you up. That way you don't have to worry about parking. Parking can get a little crazy, especially on the weekend when the show's a little bit busier. The last thing that I just want to point out about the map is if you'll just kind of take note of what's happening in what area of the grounds. So the Freeman Coliseum is where we will have our larger celebrity panels. So any panels that have Diego Luna, Orlando Bloom, Jake Gyllenhaal, any of those big A-listers will be in Freeman Coliseum where we can have more people. In Expo Hall 2, this is formerly where we held our car show. We do not unfortunately have our car show this year, but we have expanded our free play arcade. So this is all free play. There's lots of kids and gamers that like to go in here. New this year, we also have our free autograph zone. Well, I say new, we had it last year, but this year it's much bigger than it was last year. So any free autographs or selfies will also take place in Expo Hall 2. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. And Expo Hall 1 has all of our exhibitors and artists, our paid photo ops and autographs, and of course our celebrity theater, which has some concerts and small entertainment acts, and some of our smaller panels will be held in the celebrity theater, which is all in Expo Hall 1. All right, Christy, check in and check out.
Sure thing. So upon arrival, you're going to be in the volunteer room. From there, you're going to check in with me. We're going to look in the system at the Give Pulse, make sure that your shifts are correct, give you your assignment for the day, and show you where you're going to be working. From there, you're going to walk over to your area and you're going to meet your team captain. The team captain is going to be the person that you're going to be reporting to throughout your shift. So if you need to take a break, if you want to go ahead and have lunch or something, you're going to be checking in with your team captain. Throughout the day, though, if you do have an emergency, or let's say you're going to be late for some reason or have questions beforehand, my number is there. You can call or you can text. Because there are 600 of you, I do ask that if you are going to be texting me, please include your first name and last name. That way I know who I'm talking to. Once you're with your team captain, you've got your assignment for the day, you're ready to check out. Tell your team captain, hey, my shift is ending, just wanted to let you know. It's very important that from there you come and you check out with me as well. This is for your safety and our records. We want to make sure that we know who is in the building, who's not. If you choose to stay after you've checked out for the rest of the day, let's say you have a first shift, you are more than welcome to do that. You're already in the building, so we're not going to charge you admission. We just ask that you change into a different shirt. It can be very confusing for guests if they see someone out there with a volunteer shirt on, but they're not working. We just want to make sure that it's easy for you and easy for them. In the volunteer room, we are going to have lots and lots of food. We're going to have snacks. We're going to have drinks. You can come in and get that at any time. We do ask, though, that for your first shift, make sure that you've had a small meal or a snack before. That way you're ready to start the day. You're starting off right. If you have any questions during your shift, let your team captain know. They'll either contact me or send you back to me for more information.
All right. Yeah, we don't let anybody go hungry. Trust me, if you guys have volunteered with us before, there's always plethora of pizza, snacks, sandwiches. This year, I'm told we have salads. If you guys follow Bob on Facebook, the salads have been a really big deal. So not to worry, we will not let you go hungry. I do also want to make sure that I point out if you are on any kind of special diet and you need to bring a lunchbox or a cooler of sorts, that's totally fine. We just need to make sure that it's locked away in your car. Like I said, there is really no safe place to store those things in the volunteer room. I would hope that we don't have any thieves in there, but if something grows legs and decides to walk away, unfortunately, our staff in Freeman is not reliable. Okay, so a quick general overview of volunteer positions. So I'm not going to read through all of these. I'm sure you guys have already either have an idea of what you want to do, or you've done this before, or maybe you volunteered at another con and are looking to do something similar. But you guys can read through these. So a couple of things that I just want to take note. So some of these may be outside. So if you have any kind of medical issue or are prone to heat exhaustion, whatever it may be, please, please, please make sure that you let Christine know. Even if you show, even if between now when you signed up, gotten training, and the show in 3 weeks, if you've broken an ankle, broken an arm, broken a leg, whatever it may be, we need to know about it so that we can make sure that we have you in a place that's not going to put you in any kind of stressful situation or anything dangerous. Not that any of our positions are really dangerous, but we don't want anybody passing out, falling, or anything like that. So the other thing that I want to make sure that you guys take note of, and please just dig deep and think about your personalities. So what I mean by that is if you are a very quiet and neat person, maybe you don't like speaking up, maybe you're not comfortable with talking to people 24/7. Some of these positions may be really hard. So for example, the merchandise booth, if you do not like selling things, if making change freaks you out, this is probably not the place for you to be. If you are not computer savvy, registration is all done on a computer or some type of electronic device. So if you're not good with that kind of thing, registration is not the place for you. If you are uncomfortable with telling people that they're seated in the wrong area and they need to move, or working with areas of line control, celebrity theater, the performance stage, photo ops, autographs, those kinds of places really do sometimes take somebody that's a little bit more bold and outgoing. So just make sure that you are picking a position that really is right for you. If you get through your first day and you're like, oh my God, I absolutely hated that, I don't want to do it again, talk to Christy. We will see what we can do about getting you moved. And I encourage you guys to try a couple of different, to put down at least all 4 of your options and then some, because we really do kind of like to shuffle people around so that everybody gets a chance to do everything. It is based on selection is based on a couple of things. So first come, first serve. It's also based on if you have any experience in that position or not. So we try not to end up with, in registration, we try not to make everybody be a first timer. We definitely want some folks that have done it before mixed in there so that if you guys that are new have any questions, that there's more than just a team captain that can assist you. But if you guys have any questions on positions or what would be a good fit for me, what wouldn't be a good fit for me, please reach out to us. We are happy to help. So if you are going to listen to anything or you haven't listened to anything that I've said thus far, please open your ears and listen to this because this really is the most important part. And again, just going to hit the highlights. So at the end of the day, this is a customer service role. I can't explain it any other way. Our guests absolutely love our volunteers. Our volunteers are known for being extremely happy and cheerful, always having smiles on their faces, very knowledgeable. So hopefully you guys have picked up a few tips in this training and are ready to go. Come armed with as much information as possible. So if you guys haven't followed us on Facebook or haven't familiarized yourself with the lineup, or like I said, here in a couple weeks, we'll have our app completely updated. Make sure that you guys just take your time and kind of sift through all the information that you can about the show. If you haven't visited our website, it is pmxevents.com. Myself and my team work really hard on that website, so I'd love for you guys to read it and look at it. But just a couple more things. So some of the most popular questions are going to be about times and locations. We've already talked about where you can find those either on the app. We do usually have printouts of schedules that are just kind of located in various places, like the information booth, customer service. So they can certainly pick up that information there as well. Something new that we added last year, very similar to an arrival and departure kiosk, like at an airport. We will have boards located throughout the venue that will also have schedules that are constantly being updated so that they can get that information there as well. Knowing where to find key locations is also really important. So a lot of people will ask about ATMs, where's the food court, where's the free play arcade, where are the free celebrities, where is my paid photo op going to take place. So back to when I instructed that I highly recommend that you guys get there at least 15 to 30 minutes early before your shift starts. Part of that is just being ready to kind of take in the venue. So you guys get there early, check in with Christy, check in with your team captain. A lot of times one of us are happy to kind of walk you around and show you where things are because undoubtedly somebody is going to ask you where something is and you'll need to know. In the off chance that somebody does ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, please don't be a hero and make anything up. There's plenty of us captains, we'll all be wearing red shirts, by the way, that may know the answer. And if we don't know the answer, excuse me, we're happy to run it up through the chain and find an answer for our guest. On that same token, if somebody's lost and doesn't know where to go, and we do have a lot of folks that come in from out of state, out of the country, maybe their English isn't the best and you are understanding what they're looking for and it's not translating properly, please feel free to escort them wherever they are needing to go. If you do need to step away from your position, just make sure that you grab one of us captains, again, wearing a red shirt, and we are more than happy to have you guys assist and escort our guests to where they're trying to get to avoid confusion. Let's see. So we talked about the information booth. So two of the main places that you can always send people if they're confused, information booth or customer service. The information booth is going to be more of your lost and found, kind of your general questions. The customer service desk is going to be, we sell photo op and autograph tickets or sessions there. So sales. If anybody needs to switch a time, or maybe they've arrived late and they've missed their group time and they need to get switched into a later time. Customer service desk is where I will be, and where myself and my team will try to accommodate our guests if they have, logistical issues. So please send them to customer service. This one's always really hard, but using positive language, no arguing, no swearing. We do get some guests that get bent out of shape, quite frankly, over silly things like that line's going faster. I've been in line for a really long time and that person cut, and there's always something. So please, please, please remember this is customer service. Not that the customer is always right, but if somebody is just being really combative, if they are just engaging in really ugly behavior, please don't try to de-escalate the situation. Please grab a captain. Let us be the bad guy. Let us handle it for you. We don't want to put any of our volunteers in any uncomfortable situations. It has happened before. Hopefully it won't happen again. But every now and then we do get some attendees that just aren't happy about something, and we want to do our best to make them happy. So never touch an attendee or their children. This one's pretty much common sense. But please, if you're in line control, the best example I can give, sometimes people will kind of blow past you. Don't throw your arm out at them. Don't yank any kids or grab any kids if they're in the way. Just use your voices first, and we just never want to escalate anything to any kind of physical touch. We already talked about restroom breaks and all that good stuff. You might have to ensure that people are wearing the right badges. Sometimes you'll have general admission, try to sneak into VIP lines or into VIP rows for panels. So just be mindful of those things and what colors are for what days. Making sure you limit personal belongings to a small purse or bag. We've already talked about that. And of course, following us on Facebook to stay up to date. All right, let's keep going. So free autographs and selfies. So I referenced that all of our free autographs and selfies are going to be taking place in Expo Hall 2 this year. We have a total of 10 celebrities that are going to be doing free autographs and free selfies. That's one autograph and one selfie per person. So we don't know what the schedule for these guys is going to be yet. It will be released when we release everything else here in a couple of weeks. But for you guys, the important thing to know is that unfortunately, when you are working, the ability for you to go get an autograph or a selfie during your break, or asking your captain if it's okay if you step away to go get an autograph or a selfie, is forbidden. And unfortunately, the answer is going to be no. The reason for that is if I do it for one, we have to do it for everybody. And we do anticipate the lines for these guys and gals are going to be really long. So unfortunately, we just don't want to get to a point where a good majority of our volunteers are waiting in line for a selfie or an autograph instead of whatever they've been assigned or asked to help with. So I apologize. I know it sucks. But if you guys are just dead set on seeing one of these people, I encourage you to work your volunteer schedule around whatever their schedule is when it comes out here in a couple of weeks. Also on that token, with any of our paid folks, so just scroll down to our lineup here, any of our celebrities that are attending the show that are paid autographs and photo op sessions, since we are not releasing that schedule until probably the week or two before show date, if it just so happens that you have a photo op with Stephen Amell and it directly is right smack in the middle of one of your volunteer shifts, please let Christy know. Since this is a paid opportunity, we will of course do everything in our power to work with you guys so that you don't miss your photo op and your autograph opportunity. So totally fine. We'll work with that. If there's multiple and it looks like you need to do another shift, then Christy will just be honest, like, hey, there's too many that have stacked up in this one shift. So we need to move your shift so that we can get you credit so that you can get your incentivized tickets. Let's see. So, the other thing to note that if you guys, sorry, I was scrolling really fast there. If you guys do end up being able to take advantage of any of our free autographs and selfies, or you do have to leave to go get a paid photo op or autograph session, just make sure, please, 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 that you are not wearing your volunteer shirt. So please make sure that on those days, if there's any overlap, or if you're getting free selfies before you start your shift, whatever the case may be, make sure that you've brought an extra t-shirt or something to wear, so that there's no confusion. The expectation is that if you are working, or excuse me, that if you are wearing your blue shirt, if somebody asks you a question, that you will answer them and that you're essentially on the clock. So to avoid that, make sure that you're not wearing your blue shirt if you're out on the bed. Okay. So the last couple of things that I'll leave you guys with, there are some specifics with photo ops and autograph sessions, so we won't go over them in any detail on this video, but if you will please do me a grand favor and just make sure that you read through these. The main ones that you really need to know, a lot of people will ask how many people can be in a professional photo op. The answer is up to 4, so whoever the ticket purchaser is, up to 3 other individuals. Children under the age of 1 don't count, so there could be multiple kiddos under the age of 1 in a photo. That's totally fine. All photos get a complimentary 8x10 glossy portrait that's printed right there in our facility as soon as you're done. It also comes with a digital download. We will have plenty of signage alerting folks to make sure that they get their digital download. You may get a lot of people ask you where they can get photo protectors for their photo ops. Those are sold separately. Sometimes celeb photo ops, who's the team that does the pictures for us. Most of the vendors sometimes will have some at customer service, so just direct them. Those are not included. They are purchased separately, and price does depend on which vendor they buy them from. Autographs, there can be a lot of confusion with autographs too. It really depends on the celebrity, but some do have a premium autograph and some have a regular autograph session. Usually the difference is whatever type of item they want autographed. So for example, anything that's Star Wars related, usually that's licensed under Lucasfilms, a lot of times that's considered a premium autograph. Whereas any autograph session, general speaking autograph session that's purchased, you don't have to bring something to sign. We do have 8x10 portraits that our guests have the opportunity to select and have the celebrity sign instead. That's totally fine. There's no additional charge for that. And it is 1 autograph per session. So some people may say, hey, I brought 2 things. Will they sign both in the same session? And the answer is no. It is 1 autograph that they have purchased. Upgrading or swapping tickets, send them to customer service, or they can do it online. So any questions about discounts or anything, go ahead and send them to customer service as well. That concludes our training for today. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. We really can't do it without you. Please, we're so excited to see you guys. So come by and say hello. Let me know how you like the training video, and can't wait to see you guys June 20th through the 23rd.
Thanks, y'all.